It didn't begin with fear. That's the strangest part. There was no sudden noise. No shadow moving across the wall. No door creaking open. Just a feeling. Like someone had entered the room without needing a door. I remember sitting alone, doing nothing important. The kind of quiet that feels normal at first, peaceful even. Until it isn't. Because silence, when it stretches too long, starts to listen back. At some point, I became aware of something subtle. Not a sound exactly. More like a shift. Like the air had changed its weight. You know how a room feels different when someone else walks in. Even if you don't see them. It was like that. But I hadn't heard anyone enter. Didn't see anything move. Still, I wasn't alone anymore. I tried to ignore it. Picked up my phone. Scrolled aimlessly. Anything to distract myself from that growing unease pressing against my chest. That's when I heard it. A whisper. Soft. So soft that I almost believed it came from inside my own thoughts. You hear me now, don't you? My thumb froze mid-scroll. I didn't react immediately. Because reacting would make it real. And I wasn't ready for that. I told myself it was imagination. Stress. Overthinking. But then it came again. Closer. Clearer. You always do this. Pretend I'm not here. A sharp breath caught in my throat. That wasn't random. That wasn't noise. That was intentional. Slowly, I lifted my head. The room looked exactly the same. Nothing out of place. Nothing unusual. And yet, everything felt wrong. Who's there? I asked. My voice sounded smaller than I expected. There was a pause. Then, a quiet, almost amused response. You really don't recognize me. My chest tightened. Because something about that voice. It wasn't unfamiliar. It wasn't distorted or monstrous. It sounded normal. Too normal. Like someone who knew me. Well, it whispered. Say something. I stood up abruptly, the chair scraping loudly against the floor. The sound echoed more than it should have. Or maybe everything just felt louder now. I don't see anyone, I said, trying to sound steady. Another pause. Then a soft chuckle. You never do. That sentence hit harder than it should have. A strange pressure built behind my eyes. Like a memory trying to force its way out. But I pushed it down. No games, I said. If you're here, show yourself. The air grew colder. Not dramatically. Just enough to notice. You wouldn't like that. The whisper came from behind me. I turned instantly. Nothing. Empty space. Wall. Shadow. Silence. But my heart didn't slow down. Because I knew. It had moved. Without making a sound. You're imagining things, I muttered to myself. Yes. The voice replied immediately. That's what you always say. My stomach dropped. That response was too fast. Too familiar. I stepped back slowly. Leave, I said, more firmly this time. A longer silence followed. For a second, I thought it was gone. That maybe I had scared it off. But then, you told me that before. My breath hitched. When? I asked. And for the first time. The voice didn't answer right away. Instead, something else happened. The room shifted. Not physically, but mentally. Like a memory overlaying reality. I was still standing there, but at the same time, I wasn't. There was another version of this room. Another moment. Same place. Different feeling. You don't remember. The voice whispered, softer now. Almost disappointed. My head started to ache. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. Something flickered in my mind. A memory I had buried. Not because it was terrifying, but because it was easy to forget. Or maybe, I wanted to forget. You weren't alone then either, the voice continued. My fingers trembled. What do you want from me? I snapped. This time, the answer came immediately. I want you to stop lying. The words felt heavy, personal, like they weren't meant for anyone else. I'm not lying, I said quickly. Silence. Then, a single word. Really? The temperature dropped again. Or maybe it was just me. Then turn around. My entire body went still. Because this time, the voice didn't sound like it was coming from the room. It sounded closer. Much closer. Like it wasn't behind me anymore. Not in front. Not above. Not anywhere around me. It was inside. Right next to my thoughts. Go ahead, it whispered. Turn around. My breathing became uneven. Because suddenly, turning around didn't feel like a physical action. It felt like something else. Like facing something I had been avoiding for a long time. I don't want to, I admitted. A pause. Then, softly, I know. For the first time, there was no mockery in the voice. No threat. Just understanding. And somehow, that made it worse. You left me there, it said. The memory hit harder this time. Clearer. Stronger. A moment. A decision. A version of me that I didn't like. That wasn't. I started. But I couldn't finish. Because deep down, I knew. You walked away, the voice continued. And you never came back. I didn't have a choice, I whispered. You did. The words were immediate, sharp, certain. You always have a choice. My chest tightened painfully. The room felt smaller, closing in. I did what I had to, I said, trying to defend myself. No, the voice replied. You did what was easier. Silence. Heavy. Unavoidable. Because there was no argument left. Only truth. And truth isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. It just sits there, waiting for you to accept it. I'm not here to hurt you, the voice said after a while. I'm here because you never finished it. My eyes stung. What does that even mean? Another pause. Then, you don't get to forget. The words settled deep. Deeper than fear. Deeper than panic. This wasn't something chasing me. This wasn't something trying to scare me. This was something that had been with me the entire time. Waiting. Watching. You carried me with you, it whispered. In every quiet moment. In every silence. And you still pretend I'm not real. I slowly sat back down. Not because I was tired. But because I couldn't stand anymore. I don't know how to fix it, I said quietly. For the first time, the voice didn't respond immediately. When it finally did, it was softer than ever. You don't fix it. A pause. You face it. The room went completely still. No tension. No pressure. Just quiet. Real quiet. The kind that doesn't feel empty anymore. And that's when I realized something. The presence wasn't growing. It wasn't moving. It wasn't getting closer. Because it had never been separate from me. It was always there. Right where it had always been. A part of me. I chose to ignore. Until now. And just before everything settled into silence again. It said one last thing. Not as a threat. Not as a warning. But as a promise. I'm not leaving this time.